It's going.
It's going.
It's going, man. Charles, what's up, man? How you been?
What's up, dude? I've been great. How have you been?
Good, good. It's been a while,
Yeah.
and we just need to let everybody know, sorry you've missed us so much. I know we are gaining popularity very rapidly, and by popular demand, I mean people like clawing at my windows, late at night, like asking when the next episode is going to be. And so it's just been a little while. I'm in the middle of selling my house. I would not wish it on my worst enemy to sell your house. So I definitely would say you should be very sure if you're going to do it. I mean, we're sure,
Yeah.
but it's insane. It's just like absolutely crazy because of all the work it entails. And if you want it to sell, kind of like if you want to sell a car, you should wash it well. You should definitely vacuum the inside and like detail it, like make it nice. You got to do the same thing with a house, while also moving all your stuff out of it. So yeah, we're like kind of living out of my wife's warehouse. That's why the stuffed animals are in the background. These are some of our legacy stuffed animals that we no longer sell, like the discontinued ones. We got oh my gosh, I'm gonna botch it. I think it's a water buffalo, koala. These are we have a kinkajou, if you don't know what that is.
No, I don't. That's cool.
We have a panda. We have two roosters for some reason. I don't want to have two of those, but cows.
What's the bird with the blue
that would be a kookaburra. Kookaburra. Yeah, how does that go again?
Yeah.
That was great. So these are when her company, it's currently going by Education, the company, it's not a holding company. The DBA is Education, but the original company is Wildlife Tree. And so these are these stuffed animals that you see in the background. So if anybody's just listening, you can go to our YouTube channel or I think Spotify also has the videos you can watch. Is Apple Podcast has videos now, right? Or not yet?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. So if you want to watch the video,
yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to watch the video, go on one of those channels and we publish our stuff on there too. So if you just want to kind of see a little bit of what my wife's genius and I just try to pretend I can keep up. So she's been very involved in the creation of a lot of these stuffed animals. And now she does the education boxes. But how you been, man? You've also had a little bit of time off too. It wasn't just me. Talk a little bit about what's been going on.
Daughter had spring break, so we did it, Disneyland trip as we always do. We have passes, which we're fortunate to have, so we can go and have no pressure. So we went like 2 days. We stayed in a hotel down there. It's really fun. I got a bunch of dental work done too. I don't like the dentist at all, so it was a big deal for me to go and do that. But yeah, it feels good. My mouth feels great and refreshed, and like my gums don't hurt anymore. It's like it's good. It's really,
I'm
really
so
good.
happy for you. I always hate going to, but I think because I go frequently, it's not as bad. But sorry to hear you had to do that, man. That's
no worries. It's my own fault. So
but
yeah, besides that, it's been pretty chill. I'm also developing an icon course right now.
Oh, you are?
Well, yeah.
Nice
icon design course.
You're gonna try to sell a course. It's so funny. I've tried in the past myself.
Nice.
Maybe you had heard of it too. I had done an iPhone for beginners course a little bit when I think it was iOS 7. Was that when they did the overhaul of their UI, like their whole design system, everything? Their whole design language, like everything was just massively different. I think I was 7, and that's when I think it was iOS 8 around there. I published a course. But anyways, tell me more about your icon course, because that's clearly more relevant to this podcast about design and everything. And you've obviously mentioned your friend in the past who does icons as a service, which I thought was so fascinating. But
yeah. So I mean, it'll just walk people through kind of like a good framework for developing a good icon system for your brand. And I think show hopefully like quite a few things that aren't in icon courses that exist today. I think a lot of the icon courses today are mainly wrapped around like a pretty large icon system that you're developing for your brand in-house. So how do you make it scalable? How do you export them so they can be used in, in applications, etc.? Like is a good part of it. But I think a big part of it that I see missing in a lot of these courses is like really how to tie your icon system to your brand. And I think There's a few bits that I'm still working out, but right now, like I do icon design and my buddy Stefan, hilarious.
Thumbs up.
Whoops. And my buddy Stefan does icon design in Adobe Illustrator because it's like extremely, extremely flexible. It's like the vector tool that's existed for quite a while now.
Always has
And
been.
I think, yeah, and I think it gives you a ton of flexibility in terms of like you being messy with, you know, your concepts. I think what happens is in Figma anyways, like it has vector tools in it, but they're just not as like quick, dirty, like free. And so I think when you're going and translating a bunch of ideas into Figma, what I see a lot of the times are icon sets that look all the same. Instead of really taking and extracting what you get from your brand, whether that be the typography, whatever things make your brand unique, a unique marker, visual, whatever it may be, like those materials, extracting the essence of those and putting them into your icon set so that it actually creates another layer of your brand that exists to the rest of the world.
I love it so much because I will admit I get pretty lazy in Figma, and I use a plugin. I think you've heard of this one. I think it's Icons 8. That's a pretty popular one, and not the most popular on Figma. I'll definitely say I give iconography an afterthought when I'm at building or like starting from scratch even, but also just like jumping in on a client's design system and trying to just make it consistent, enhance it. The icons, I will say I give it the last thought for sure, and I get lazy and I use a plugin like that and try my best to tie it in, but it's tough. Like the more icons you have, the more that more difficult it becomes to have a unified language for all of that. There's not an icon for everything, and eventually you do have to make your own, right? And then it's like, oh man, like I gotta tie in all these other sort of pieced together ones that are still not quite consistent, and it can be tough. It's like inevitable you end up having to do the work of creating your own. So you might as well just make the whole thing, right? So
but I think too, even me as an icon designer, the thing I do understand too is that making a completely custom, super tied to your brand icon set is not something for every stage of every single company. Like if there's a designer that's literally their sole job is to work on the icon set for, the company for Netflix, like my friend Bonnie has done that.
Wow.
But if there's people that are like dedicated to doing it and they have time, great. Small startups, literally doesn't make any sense. You have your ROI on that is almost zero. Like, you if you come to me and spend, thousands of dollars creating 20 icons or whatever, that's not a good use of your money when you're trying to get product market fit. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of considerations when dealing with this stuff too. But I just think it's something I've wanted to get out there. It's something I've wanted to like just pass on my skills, basically a lot of the stuff that I've learned from Stefan, and pass that on to other designers too, so that they can like, I don't know, make really, really amazing. I want to see more designers make like incredible icon sets that are like so tightly knit, like so tightly threaded to the brand. I don't know. So a lot of it is just very utilitarian these days, where it's like, here's a set of 18,000 icons. So you have access to all these different icons, which is a great utility. It's awesome, but it just misses a spirit, if you will, at times. Absolutely. But there's a place for them. There's a place for them. I just don't think it's like a one size fits all for either.
I'm right there with you. I nerd out on like amazing, just really like pure. You can tell like there a lot of thought put into a nice icon set for a brand, especially for larger brands. And I mean, icons are very important. They're just great signifiers for a good user experience, to help guide users, but also very, very well used in even graphic design, so there's always a need for iconography. I love it, dude. I would love to see how you do. I will definitely, if you want any advice on somebody who's failed miserably and trying to market content that I've created, like I created a legit course, as I was saying, and it bombed because I just didn't know anything about marketing. And so you're creating a product, sir, and like, at the end of the day, you gotta figure out the channels to market. So maybe just kind of coming from learnings from my wife's business and my specialty lately in direct to consumer e-commerce, which I go and analyze marketing funnels from brand awareness building through ads or organic channels all the way to converting into a customer, and even some retention strategies. I wish I knew then what I know now. And like, the most important thing is create a product, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So in this case, your iconography course. And then, probably the best thing to do is consider putting it into a marketplace, at least to validate or verify your proof of concept, like that there's need. And I'm sure you also have a great circle of influence, people in your network that would love to purchase the course and give you a nice little boost of revenue in the beginning. Use some of that revenue to then expand into marketing and other channels. But like marketplaces are great. Like, let's say Skillshare is one that comes to mind. And there's probably a bunch of other ones now. Oh my gosh. Udemy, I think, was another big one. Maybe they're still around, still hot. Even like lynda.com got bought by LinkedIn, and I think they still,
which is owned by Microsoft.
That's right. Yeah. It all is 6 degrees to Charles, everybody.
Everything is. So, no, it's funny.
Kevin Bacon. Everything goes back to Charles and Microsoft.
I've been my buddy is really good on that side of things too. And our strategy so far has been that I'm going to build out an actual website. There's a bunch of Framer templates and stuff where you can actually have like a course website. We're going to try and do it that way. We'll put some money into ads, and then in order to like, it sounds really terrible, in order to try and like squeeze any last bits out of it, then we'll put it into a marketplace. But the marketplaces just take so much of such a massive share of your revenue that
of course
it's tough. But obviously they have distribution, so we're gonna see. We're gonna try it this way and see what we can pull out of it, and then I don't know.
Just to build any revenue, any source of income for your venture at all, a marketplace couldn't be a bad idea, just because you can get you started, then get away from the marketplace as soon as you can. But I don't know, it's you can be successful just going direct. And I'd love to give you any ideas, even outside this podcast, if you want to work on some ads. I could definitely tell you how to run better meta ads like Facebook, Instagram, which is a fantastic place to start. There's still a ton of people on Facebook that use it every day, and it's all a matter of who's the exact audience that you are trying to target. And I mean, still 100%. Like just static image ads still are very effective on Facebook by itself, and of course Instagram. So it doesn't have to be this like full-fledged production, like making just video content to try to market. Although, I mean, I've seen a lot of people do extremely well on like TikTok, for example. You could just have excerpts of your clips of your video course. And it is video course, correct? I just want to double check. Like, it's not just here's a written guide, right? So no. I imagine it's a lot of videos. So you can show clips of that on Instagram, anywhere where there's like video content, even YouTube. So that'd be pretty fascinating. I think we should show some clips on here. Maybe we get a little bit of sales in this podcast for you.
Nice, dude. That'd be cool. But I'm excited about it, man. It's gonna be great. Big focus is just making sure the content is good, because especially with courses, like they can live or die by like a few people saying, hey, this course sucks and it's not good, and then people don't buy it. And that's true.
Marketplaces can definitely do that to you.
I want to make sure that whatever it is that I put out, that people go, well, this class is really good. Hey, you should try it. You should try it. You should check it out. So it'll be cool.
Maybe a little bit of running it by your circle of influence, any peers first, see what they think. Of course, they're only gonna be nice though. But
they'll be critical with me.
Big things. It's just so hard when you have to like go through and re-record things or anything like that. I know it's a drag, and I'm personally a perfectionist. Yeah, I remember we worked through the night to get my iPhone for Beginners course done. Like, I still am very proud of it, and there are some clips of it that can be found on YouTube today. I think one of them had over 100,000, 200,000 views to date.
Nice.
I'll have to send it to you outside of here, and but if you just type in YouTube, anybody listening, it's definitely gotten some traction. I wish I had added calls to actions at the end, like. It's just a funny sales principle. Like, if you just don't have a call to action at the end, you can't really expect much sales. You just have a simple, even just end title card on the video clip, like, hey, want more of this? Come buy my course here. Like I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have anything like that. I just showed a clip, like not much.
yeah.
I don't think I even have a link in the description.
Dude, that's so
That,
funny. Yeah, yeah.
that
I'm
could have been
building
a
out
very
like a
effective marketing channel for me had I given it more attention. So
yeah, 100%. I was just saying, like we're building out a trailer right now for it too, so
yeah,
that there's something that exists before the course is actually ready to go.
yeah.
That will, yeah, give people a really good idea of what it'll be like, and they can, sign up to get updates and all that stuff too. So
I'm
it's gonna
fired
be,
up,
it's
man.
gonna be
Very
great.
entrepreneurial.
It's
That's
gonna be
my
great.
jam. I love it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's
jeez,
gonna be fun.
makes me need to create something again. Let's pivot to, if you want, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
You're like maybe just latest news, anything that's on your mind. I just had a little note here that about Tesla laying off 10% of their staff.
They laid off 10%.
10% of their worldwide staff. Some departments up to 20% in a single department. But that's like obviously it goes,
How
company wide.
much? How much globally is that? How many employees?
I think it was about 128,000 employees roughly globally was my guess. It's definitely in the six figures
Okay.
and like low six figures, and yeah, 10% of that's a significant amount of people. I know we on last episode 5 we talked about Apple laying off about 2,000 employees for their car division, their Apple Car. They just shut it down as they should have. And get into AI, you guys, because you're dragging your knuckles. But Tesla laying off because the EV market was cooling. And I wish I had done a little more deep dive into like how that affected probably their like design UI teams. They have really cool UI. Do you drive a Tesla? I can't remember if I asked you.
No.
No, I've only been in my brother's. I've never owned one. It's pretty amazing. And
Yeah, they're pretty nice for sure.
and
Have
yes,
you ever been in a Rivian?
no, but I love Rivian.
I mean, they're better in my opinion. They're just so
Yeah,
cool and utilitarian. Like
yeah,
they're still going off of the like, oh, magical EV stuff.
yeah.
Like Rivian's like, yeah. It is magical, but also like, let's make something that I don't know. People love Teslas, but man, the Rivians are so sick, dude.
Right there with you. I
So
feel like
sick.
all designers, us designers, like we probably loved Tesla in the beginning, and now Rivian's the new hot. Like definitely the niche of outdoorsy type of Oregonian audience, I would say, that would love to buy that. And yeah, I'm really into it. Like, yeah, I love like their compartment for like you could just put a snowboard in their
Yes.
side
So
compartment.
cool, dude. Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
useful. Like my
yeah,
friend had a Tesla, actually, is an example. He
yeah,
had a Tesla, put the racks on top, and like was putting his bike up there and just looked down and just saw just the massive glass panel overhang
yeah,
and was like, nope. Traded his Tesla in and got something like more rugged so he could
yeah,
take it for bike rides and stuff. Cause Teslas are they're just delicate. Like they're delicate vehicles
yeah,
and they're cool in technology, but they're not made to like really use them. They're just made
yeah,
for like
yeah.
comfort and luxury, and that's kind of it.
I will even say like the Cybertruck, I was fired up with it.
Oh, that's right.
I love the
Cybertruck.
polarizing design of it. But seeing it out in the field now, like people driving it, I don't really
It's
like it anymore.
it's so gross, dude.
Yeah,
Anyone who likes that car, and I'm sorry, anyone who's watching or listening, it
yeah.
is
Be bold, man. Give your
it
harsh
is
opinion.
such a status symbol, Josh. It's
Yeah,
such
it
a
totally
status
is.
symbol.
Yeah,
All it is like, I'm sure there are people that are like, oh, I really love the design of it, but a lot of it is, I have a Cybertruck. Like, yeah,
yeah. It's definitely one of those things, and I think it definitely just the whole pizzazz of it went away fast. I was just more into it when it was so bold of a design at the time, and it's been many years, and then it's
that was
almost like
actually going to release. That's the thing, a
yeah,
bold
yeah,
design that was actually going. That's why I was like, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that won't be the design. Like, they're not. That's a concept
yeah,
car.
yeah.
So yeah, good for them. Anyways, I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem at all. I know you're in the tangent of Rivian. That's just why I like bring up the latest news, because it's always gives us something fun to talk about.
Oh,
But yeah,
so funny.
Rivian, so hot right now. Rivian.
Yeah.
My other buddy designer who is nice enough to listen to our podcast. He's actually a big fan already, and was bugging me about the next episode. He's really into it. He owns stock in Rivian. Like he loves
Oh,
it. And
awesome.
yeah, so and then I was like, yeah, these are fine. And then I looked into more. I definitely tell you again that snowboard compartment or skis compartment in it really sold me. And it's again just a reminder about design, you guys. it's delightful features like that. It was what really wins an audience. Like they clearly know who their audience is. They want the snowboarders and skiers. They
Yeah.
want the people who want to take it off the road and like
Yeah. Yeah.
go
Yeah. Yeah.
and do some actual camping. Like they
Yeah.
totally get it. Like like they'd probably advertise an REI, like
Yeah.
or
100%.
similar crossover brands here, right? That they could partner with. Oh, like Subaru, you know, I guess it's more of a competitor in a sense, but like there's just so many. You can just tell where their heart is at, where their vision is at. I don't know if you know, Rivian is actually a combination of. Hang on, it was supposed the founder, and I don't remember his name right now, but he lived at the Indian River, and so the name was derived from Indian and river, hence the name Rivian. So like river Indian, I
Super
guess is
cool.
kind of where it came from. That's the
Yeah.
story I heard at least. So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's a cool name. And again, like it reinforces the brand positioning even more, somehow just more focused on nature-minded people.
Dude.
Tesla is kind of still, in my opinion, the EV car for everyone, trying to make something for everyone from luxury cars to economical Model 3 and then the Cybertruck. I just think that they're kind of losing their vision in the sense of I don't know, like where they want to go. Like it was all about being like eco warriors in the beginning, and I think it's kind of just gotten a little. I don't know. I think they strayed from their vision really, and vision in the company is so important. Rivian again, super understanding and solid on where they're going.
Yeah.
Um,
My gut with the Tesla thing is that the real vision was Musk saying, no one's done great EV cars, so I'm
yeah,
gonna make great EV cars.
yeah,
Like, no, knowing him and the type of things he does, like he was just like, no one's doing this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a ton of money off of it.
yeah.
Like, and yes, does it help like the eco stuff? Like 100%, but like I doubt. Well, I'm sure it's part of his consideration because he's a pretty smart guy. But yeah,
He is no doubt a genius. So the what I was reading lately is they're doing the cuts because they're trying to. It's just the bane of having investors like being traded a public company, is they have pressure to increase profits. It's like a no brainer in a big company like that. So they have to reduce workforce in order to be more lean and operating.
yeah,
But then they're going to I was reading they're doubling down on the focus on the robotaxi. Like he's going to make an announcement at the end of the summer. I think August
yeah,
was.
saw that.
And then I can see the strategy behind why they want to go that route. It's a very unique route. It's still the wild wild west on
Yeah,
self-driving cars,
100%.
and so like he's going to gosh, what was it? Like he's going to like double down on that sort of route. I guess there's some vision there connected to the older vision, the grand master plan that he used to have, but they're going to go that route, more autonomous cars. And he slashed the prices on the autopilot, excuse me, full self driving
Oh,
FSD. And
really?
because my brother has a Tesla, and he said it used to be 200 a month, or it was like 11 grand one payment. I can't remember, but they halved it from 200 a month to now 100 a month if you want the full self driving. And it's a great strategy
Whoa.
because think about it, if you want to have an autonomous car like a robotaxi, you got to collect data. And
Yeah, yeah.
so what I think that strategy behind that, cutting that, because they know they're losing revenue on cutting that, they were like forced to cutting somewhere else like their workforce, and
Mm-hmm.
they know that where they want to go in the sense of autonomous cars. So I still believe that Tesla could be a huge leader in that, if not the
Yeah,
leader of it.
yeah.
Um, I've always seen where the infrastructure build with all their electric chargers and everything. Like years ago, back in like 2018, I was working for another startup, and they were clowning on Tesla, and I mean, like, oh, they're just they're not making money. They're never going to make money. I'm like, well, that guy has built. Elon Musk has built infrastructure. He understands how to eventually create the standard and profit on that later. All right. Well, this is definitely a tangent off to like
It's
tech.
so good.
Everybody's heard about Elon Musk and EVs, right? But like, I always love to just touch base on the latest news. Let's pivot again over to just talk about like latest product. You have any in mind? If not, I can start with one that I really love that we've been using lately.
Go for it.
Anything yourself? Okay. So yeah, Motion. If you haven't heard of Motion, let me explain what we just did. My wife was getting these ads from this company, Motion, for a while. It's a project management tool, but they have an amazing AI component that basically merges project management with schedule management. It's like Asana or any other PM tool had a baby with Calendly. It like and then oh my gosh, it gets even better. It does. So I'm trying my best to audibly describe this to folks who are just listening, but it is an AI scheduler in the sense of it works as if you had an assistant who modifies your calendar when you can't get to things. Life happens. We're all human. And some
Yeah.
of us have ADHD. Maybe me. Maybe you too.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
and it's my wife was fired up on it, and she's like, I don't care that we've been using ClickUp for about 7 years. This is the tool for us. I'm like, okay, sure, yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, it's even great for people with ADHD. Like you can, it'll modify your schedule accordingly based on priorities. Like it is as if you have an assistant. So I am fascinated with this product, and it took me a few weeks. I was very apprehensive because I was so used to ClickUp,
Yeah.
which again is another product tool or project management tool. My gosh, like Asana, some of the big other juggernauts out there. But Motion is quickly gaining traction. There's a lot of companies switching over to this because of that value proposition, that main feature, which is the AI rescheduler. So you create a task and you can just press the magic AI button and it will, if you can't get to it, it will move it into other blocks of time that are available. And yes, you can integrate your Google Calendar into it, and it will already know other meetings you have, and especially personal stuff. Like it will know, okay, that count, like if you plug in your personal calendar, for example, it will know, okay, you have a doctor appointment. Clearly not a good time to schedule things for you, like a normal assistant in everyday life.
Yeah.
And so I know you're here. You said you haven't tried it yet, right? Correct?
I've tried it.
You have. Okay. Give it some more love, man, because I tried it and I still didn't quite like it for like a week.
Yeah, that was my experience, but I chalked it up to me not being able to truly invest in it and give it the time.
Yeah, but
so I wonder how your experience has been. It sounds like it's been positive.
It's so cool so far. Now it definitely has some trade-offs. Like I'll say there's some features that it's missing from that I enjoyed with ClickUp. Kind of like more like little things that I think eventually they'll iron out. I think it was even like something as easy as like I couldn't download an image from a task like after I've uploaded it. I thought that was kind of odd.
Oh,
that's an easy feature that ClickUp has. Yeah, because you sometimes you upload an asset, you might need it later. Same like with Slack, you upload an asset to the channel, might not. It has a little download icon in case you need to grab that again another time.
Nice.
So that's just like the only little things here and there, but like the big major value driver of Motion, and I love the saying, did you put it in motion? Yes, it's in motion. So like what a cool way to remember the name. But yeah, so once you really get heavy into it and you're using it with your schedule, you start to be like, oh my gosh, what, like this is the tool that should have been around forever. But the AI component is what really makes it the magic. So I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody out there, you too, Charles, to give it a
at the
try.
website right now.
Yeah, give it a try. By the way, just full disclosure, we don't have an affiliate relationship with them. We don't have any fancy links dropped into the description, though we probably should work on that. But we don't, we don't have anything right now that would make us money on this. This is just purely from experience. And it's a lot because I've used Calendly. I love Calendly. But Motion also has a Calendly-esque component to it, which is you have a booking page. You can create ways for people to book time with you, and you bet it mingles that in with your integrated Google Calendar. I think they do Microsoft calendars too, by the way. So your whatever integrated calendar you choose, I think it does iCloud as well. And you plug that in and you can have people book with you, but it mingles it with all of your work stuff, and your work stuff shifts around these appointments that come in. So you have like your hard time appointments, like that should not move. And then you have your tasks that should move if you can't get around to it. And of course, like over time, oh, little spider, get out of here, spider. So squirrel. Oh man, no, that's my train of thought. Dang it. Okay, yeah, I got it. Squirrel. So over time, you will see you will start to notice if you're not able to keep up. Well, of course, then you bring that up to your manager or some, depending on in what context you're using it. Like if you're using it in the workplace, you will start to see that I'm not able to get this done. And if you're a business owner, you start to see like, wow, I have a lot on my plate. My wife
Mm,
is definitely just so buried in tasks. She's doing the work of like 3 people. And
yeah.
yes, she sees that it's piling up, and especially over time. And emotion has helped her to understand this more than ever. Okay. I just wanted to share that because I'm very excited about it, and I hadn't used it since our last episode, and I've been using it for a few weeks now. And I think, didn't you say you were kind of working on a PM tool in Microsoft? Like, if this is great competitor research, it's like I think you
There you go.
guys definitely take note of where this company is going. And yeah, so again, Motion is the app. I think it's just motion.io. Do you know the website?
It is usemotion.com.
Use Motion. They're too cool for the IO.
Yeah, they wanted that .com.
Yeah, usemotion.com. Check it out, you guys. I'd love to hear what you think. Again, expect it to be kind of a shocker at first because it's not the PM tool you're probably used to. It's so easy to go from a company that's using even Jira and go to Asana, or go from Asana to Monday, right? Like they're fundamentally a lot the same, or and jumping to ClickUp or back and forth. But this one it's just so different. But once you use it for a bit, you'll be like, oh no, this is how it needs to be. Like, where it takes into account that I'm a human being with personal life and work. It is the perfect work and life balance tool. Boom. There we go. I should have
Dude,
written a copy for them.
that's
Dang it.
that's crazy. That's really cool. I know. I was wondering how much it would understand, like, nuance, or I don't know what it's called, but when like AI can understand like a thing and its context, right? Like
Mhm.
going to the grocery store versus like you said, a meeting with my boss
Yep.
versus, I don't even know, like even in this case too, like design and presentation versus like design a logo system. Like is, I don't know, maybe right now it doesn't, but like would it understand like, oh yeah, I'm going into AI, I'm looking at it, logo systems normally take whatever 1 to 3 months, this is how I should be scheduling this thing,
Mhm.
versus, oh, he's working on a slide deck and that could take like a few days. So yeah, like
You're touching on a good point here, where like it also they're working on a lot of really cool new features, like where you can kind of plug in your SOP, like the steps in a workflow, and then you can have it like auto assigned to each person, which some tools can already do that. If you just kind of go in the Kanban or whatever, you can like say, okay, when it gets to this status, automatically reassign to this person. It goes like above and beyond that. You can already do that through automations, but you can have it assigned to a team member. And what's cool is like if that team member is taking a couple days, like they're late, they had something happen, they took a day off or whatever, it will readjust their schedule. And since you're dependent on them getting a certain step of this workflow or this project done, it will reschedule in your schedule accordingly.
wow.
I know it's a lot to follow, but like
Yeah, that's cool.
it's one of those things you got to experience it in practice, and we have yet to get to that point. We've
Yeah, yeah.
definitely been bugging them about these like features that they kind of mispromised, or like they
Mhm.
promised as if they were already available, and we hope they corrected it on their website, but they weren't quite available. But that's this sort of like SOP workflow where no longer do you need to like create like just boring text SOPs. Like, there's very few people who love that. I personally can't stand that. It's a
What's an SOP?
excuse me. Yeah, it's a standard operating procedure.
Oh,
Again,
cool.
just like I'm very much woven into business, and the verbiage of it, and so sorry about that. Yes.
Acronyms, all the acronyms.
SOP is standard operating procedure, and it's very helpful if you're somebody, especially in a new role, and you need to understand how your role operates and how you function in the business and all that, right? So an SOP doc is something that usually a good company, a good HR department will deliver upon you. Like, here's what your day-to-day is, and here's, just the whole shebang of what you are supposed to be doing in your role. It's not just a job description at that point. It's more like your action items that you got to do,
Yeah.
but also like how you work with the team. So in Motion, you would instead not have such a document. You could probably have a brief little summary, but like how things generally operate in a department. But your actual action items can just be set up in here,
Yeah.
and you just check it out. There's some videos out there on YouTube that a lady who shared like their Figma files and like what's coming. But they said in just any week now, this is April 16th, they said any week now, they're dropping this much anticipated feature I'm talking about right now. And the actual feature has left me, but let's just call it for now like the SOP, sort of like redelegating that dependency schedule when I was talking about. It's
cool.
pretty fascinating, and I think everybody should really get on this. Again, not looking to make money on this. I just want the best for everybody. I want more people to use it so that other vendors that we work with, I do have a friend who actually brought it up. He's like, yeah, I got my AI account. I'm like, oh, is it Motion? Is it? He's like, yes. I'm like, so we're working together in Motion already.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
Sweet, dude.
yeah, I'm fired up. So thanks for listening on that.
No worries.
Anything else that you're working with lately? Like maybe just any like product or anything that's come to mind that you maybe work on at work, or I know you can't share too much about what you're working on in your projects, but even just like a phone app, anything that comes to mind.
No, I think so. Like, I feel like today calendar stuff is still tough. And now also too, I actually, my wife is going to be doing some photography in the garage. So I need to close up in a second here. But
sure. No worries. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I still continue to use Chat GPT quite often. I'm getting better at remembering to use it for stuff. So even like Josh was saying, selling your house is hard, buying a house is hard too. Like I just this morning was like, hey, I'm trying to think through like how to make a decision to either sell my house, buy a new one, renovate my current one. Like there's all of these financial products. Like, where do I start? Like I just
yes, you've identified a problem.
Yeah. Just like helping to, and this is, the ADHD thing where I'm just like, I'm full of a lot of information and context, but I don't know how to take the puzzle and like move everything around to be like, okay, well, do this first. That will help with this decision. And then once you know this, then you can move on to this one. Like to do this one, you have to set this stuff up so that you can actually think through what decision you need to make within that, within that area. So
don't discount it could be a superpower if used correctly, right? Like the ability to hyperfocus can actually be very helpful in business and in projects like what you're doing. Yeah, I need to read that. The ADHD Advantage. Just so everybody knows, I am actually diagnosed.
Yeah.
And Charles suspects, but I've encouraged him on the side, like, hey, maybe you want to consider a proper diagnosis. But hey, one can assume for now. It's not difficult to understand the traits behind it. Like, but definitely, I just want to say out there to everybody, like, don't use the internet to diagnose yourself. It's okay if you think you have it, but like, definitely, I always recommend everybody like try to get an official diagnosis, not so you can be as cool as me, but I got more like a half-assed diagnosis through a psychiatrist, but I know you got to get going anyways. You are a good husband and you are considering your wife's needs for that space, and totally get it. So I have a couple things I'll just share that we'll do on the next episode.
Oh, cool.
I wanted to share progress with my experience with productized design as a service. Remember we talked about
this will be a good follow-up.
It was so great. So I'm gonna just kind of leave it with that. Like, you should definitely listen to those previous episodes where we go deeper into that. Perhaps we'll touch base again on what that is. But I actually put it into practice thanks to Charles for even bringing it up. I didn't even know about it before this podcast, and I actually was able to convince my client to try it out. At this very moment, we are not on the monthly plan, but we tried it for a month and it was like amazing. Okay, so I don't want to get too much. And then I also want to talk about my experience lately with jacking up my rate. There's really no other way to describe it. I'll share the details on where I was with that rate and then where it is now, and how that has actually considerably increased attention where I wasn't really getting contact by anybody until I decided to specialize and increase my rate tremendously. And it has somehow gotten more people to contact me. I've been contacted by at least 3 companies in like 3 or 4 weeks for my very specialized services. And so I just want to talk more and expand on that and encourage people to do the same. I've already been talking to my friends heads off about it too. So And then you and I
Sweet.
have been chatting on the side. So yeah, we're going to keep today a little shorter, and but really appreciate everybody tuning in again. Sorry it's been a while, but we are dads. We have
Yeah.
lives. We have wives. We have
We have
to
wives, we have lives,
yeah.
we have
We have to get to all this stuff.
yeah.
But looking forward to the next episode, you guys. And thanks again for listening. And catch us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify Podcasts. So we do publish all three of those, and would love any questions, feedbacks, concerns, anything, anytime. Please let us know so we can improve it. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day, everybody.
Later,
Thanks,
y'all.
Charles. See you around,
Bye,
man.
Josh.
All
See
right,
you.
see ya. Bye.